Now, this is the kind of book that is hidden behind a witch book or a witchcraft kind of book, but it's so much more than that. And you're either gonna love it and think that it's uplifting and that it makes you feel heard and seen, or it's gonna be the kind of book that you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected, and I'm not here for it. However, this is so well written that it's hard to hate on a book like this. So today I'm going to review for you Grady Hendrix, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I just finished this book. It's a little bit shy of 500 pages, and this is my first Grady Hendrix book. So let me tell you a little bit of what this book is about and why I think some people are really not gonna like it. This is a story of teen moms that were sent to this house in the 70s so they could go spend their pregnancy, have their babies, deliver, and give them up for adoption. When they were sent to this house, they did not know how much they would be at the mercy of other human beings in power. They would make every single decision for them as far as what they would eat, what they would wear, where they would sleep. Even their names were changed. And these girls felt really powerless. Eventually, a librarian that comes in a bookmobile gives them a book. And they find some spells in it that would help them make these people in power feel the way that they were feeling. Now that's as far as I'm gonna tell you on the synopsis, but this book is truly horrific. And it's not because of the description, which it grows some people out, about childbirth and how many layers they have to cut when they have to take your baby out during a C-section. And it's kind of graphic in those details, but as a mother of four that had 4 babies deliver the natural way, I can tell you that it didn't gross me out. The part that really I thought it was horrific and it made me feel a really horrible way in my insides, putting myself in this girl's shoes, was how helpless they were and how everyone thought that they were second-class citizens because they got pregnant before getting married. And that is something that happened. I mean, back in the 60s and the 70s, if you weren't married, you were treated differently, to say the least. But it also makes you think about things that are happening today with Roe v. Wade and how still today, in 2025, really, there's people in power that think that they should be able to make some decisions that affect you directly, and how you would think that those things are part of the past. Now, I'm not gonna take one side or the other, or I don't want to convince you to go one side or the other. That's totally your choice and based on your own beliefs, but it really makes you think about, yes, we've come a long way, but there's still a lot to get done. And Grady Hendrix covered this social theme in such a funny way, because I think that the witchcraft part of this book was added to show a way to fight back what they were dealing with, but it's not a realistic way. So it makes it feel very campy, very funny, but at the same time, it empowers you to think about, or it helps you think about the things that are still happening today and how those things potentially could be fight against, or like how you can fight it in your personal life, and it doesn't have to do with witchcraft, which of course it's a way of making a point in this book. I think that the social commentary is way stronger than any horror, but it did make me feel helpless and sad. And being a teen mom myself in the 90s, I have to say that if I was taken to a place like this, which wasn't a thing, but if I was in their position, I don't know if I could have made it out alive. I think it would have been too much for me, and it just makes you think. And I think this is the kind of book that is why it's gonna be for you or not. I mean, it's just gonna divide people in. Maybe 3 stars is not going to be the one thing. Now, the 500 pages are needed. because each character is developed and the story is developed and you're following them throughout their lives. So it does take a long time to just follow each character. Is it slow paced? No, but it is a lot more character driven. So if you don't enjoy that and you care more about the plot, it's going to, you know, get on your nerves until it starts going again. But it really does keep the pace going, but not so much with the plot itself. Now, overall, I think this is a great book. Would I reread this book? No, because I think it got it through. Like, it's in my brain. And that's why when people, you know, talk about politics and stuff and people say, you know, I come to books because I want to escape, sometimes you can't escape it, because books are written by people and people have their own beliefs. So you either agree with them or you don't agree with them, but wherever you're standing, now you know the deeper meaning of this. Now, I have to warn you, if you're a very deeply religious person and you get offended by some of the things that could be said, you know, especially when we're talking about witches, maybe this book is not for you. God is not depicted in a very nice way. But if you take it for what it is, a book, work of fiction, it's not going to really affect you. But if you are easily triggered by that, which, I mean, to each their own, then you shouldn't be reading this book, because it does talk about that. But if you ever read any books about witches, you know that contrast between God and witches, even though it's covering some of the toughest social themes that I think most women are encountering, no matter what side you're on, whether you think that somebody should be able to keep the baby no matter what, or if you're on the other side. This book will give you a different perspective on that and makes you think about those things and probably confirm either way on your brain. But I thought it was smart. I thought Grady Hendrix, it's one of those guys that is very aware of what's happening and what some women are thinking. And I thought that he did it in a very tasteful way, because, again, he made it funny. He made it campy. And at the same time, so scary to be in that position where those girls were. So to me, this was a 5-star. Definitely will continue to read Grady Hendrix. And I didn't think that the 500 pages were too long. I also want to thank Libro FM, because at the end I got the ALC from them and I felt like it gave a different life to the story. I really enjoyed the audiobook. And as I said, this is our library copy, but I did get it through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. So thank you so much for being here today. If you read this book, no matter what side of the spectrum you're lay on, let me know what you think about it. If you liked it or if you didn't like it. I mean, it's okay to agree to disagree.